Approaching the bottom of the hour as Russian troops attack cities in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the military operation is necessary after calls for help from leaders of Russian-backed separatist territories in eastern Ukraine.
So right now, you're looking at the moment explosions went off in Ukraine overnight. A Ukrainian border guard told CNN their borders were attacked by forces from Russia and Belarus using artillery, heavy equipment, and small arms. On Facebook, Ukrainian President Zelensky declared martial law this morning, urging citizens to remain calm. Take a listen.
Без паніки, ми сильні, ми готові до всього, ми всіх переможемо, бо ми – це Україна. Слава Україні!
President Zelensky also tweeted that the country is prepared to give weapons to anyone who wants to defend the country. He urged people to, quote, be ready to support Ukraine in the squares of our cities. In addition to military action, several Ukrainian websites from the government have been hit by cyber attacks. In fact, the U.S. government has warned that our own country could be victims of cyber attacks as Russia seeks retribution for those sanctions.
So joining us now is Matt Hayden, former Assistant Secretary for Cyber at the Department of Homeland Security and a Senior Vice President at Exiger. Thanks so much for being here and joining us today. So we heard Putin threaten any country that intervened in their operation. So what would a cyber attack on the U.S. look like? I mean, we have kind of flashbacks to the Colonial Pipeline hack and just seeing how crippling that could be on the East Coast in that situation. So what are we looking at?
Well, we start with what we're seeing in Ukraine. What we're seeing is denial of service attacks. We're seeing malware that's used to erase and wipe systems. And they're starting with government agencies and working their way out into critical infrastructure partners like financial institutions, communications networks, and the like. So if that target were to shift its way to the United States, we would be looking at services to deliver our critical infrastructure, such as financial institutions, communications, and the like. And then that's what we need to really make sure are hardened and protected at this time, in addition to our government services and the ability to get messages out as needed.
Prevention aspect.
Yeah.
What are the government and businesses, what are they doing to prevent such an attack? Are there solutions out there?
There are. So we have a campaign actively with the federal government called Shields Up, which is being led through several of our agency partners. That is working to make sure people have user accounts that are squared away, making sure that they have all their security in place. We're talking about basic cyber hygiene using multi-factor authentication. We're talking about closing administrator accounts that are no longer used, really taking a quick sprint to look at our internal security, because just like all of our other operations, we're only as strong as our weakest link. And that cliche holds, because what we have right now is not a time to panic, but a time to be prepared. We're looking at an instance in which we could have services disrupted by the simple click of a malware being infected in one of our daily confirmation of services, whether that's a fuel pipeline like we saw before or impacting some other industry like the food sector. We saw instances with our water. We see instances all over where critical infrastructure has to deal with cyber realities that they could be disrupted if they don't have the proper measures in place, and they need to plan for those attempted disruptions. And so that's where a lot of that preparation comes in, is to plan for that attack and plan for someone to try to do something wrong, and to have that backup book ready to go and that playbook on page one, so that everyone in the organization knows how to respond. And there's a citizen angle to that as well. We have to be prepared. If one of our services goes down, we have to be resilient and not panic. When the Colonial Pipeline happened, it was the job of every American to say, do I have gas in my car? Do I need gas in my car? Do I need to run out and buy all the gas and try and fill up plastic bags? No. So we have that reality to deal with as well.
And, you know, that's kind of what we're seeing out of Ukraine. A lot of video of people lined up, so packed, trying to get gas and fill their gas tanks, and also at the ATMs to take cash out. But what else we saw in the Ukraine this week, data wiping was found on hundreds of Ukraine computers. So what exactly is this wiper malware, and is there a threat of that happening here in the U.S.?
There's always the threat of a malware issue. The challenge we have with malware is that it can spread, and as we've seen in past years, Russian malware can spread outside of even their control. It's an issue to where it may not even be directed at its potential target and go outside that box that they think they've painted it in and cause issues. This is where some of these key vulnerabilities, like servers that have known issues that can be patched, need to be patched now. That's going to stop the spread of this malware. At the same time, users are usually the problem. We need to make sure people are practicing good cyber hygiene when it comes to clicking open attachments, opening things from people they don't know, or following web links that aren't verified. This is the type of way that people get access to these systems, and they abuse that access to spread.
Over the years, I've heard from people in national security circles such as you that a cyber attack could be far more detrimental to the U.S. than a traditional military attack. What kind of statement does a cyber attack make?
Well, we're just learning the rules of the road when it comes to this. Cyber engagement has been going on as long as there's been cyber. This isn't something that has just started. It's been going on for many years. The challenge is, as it escalates, how far does it go to where it spills out of the cyber arena? It's easier to get on a keyboard and take a shot at the United States than it is to fly a jet. These are things that we have a challenge with. The spillover into critical infrastructure and into our businesses and civil society is another consequence. From a U.S. government perspective, we have the best of the best. I want you to sit back at night and know that you've got cyber warriors on your side. At the same time, it's all of us locked arm in arm to make sure we're not part of the problem by being easy targets for some of these bad guys to take advantage of.
And really quickly, before we let you go, any reason now for our viewers at home watching us, we don't want to induce any more panic. So what should they be thinking going forward?
They should be thinking about resilience. The challenge is the same as FEMA tells us about hurricanes to make sure we have water and resources. You want to look at your day-to-day service. If you are going to run out of gas tomorrow, don't wait until there's an issue. Just go along your daily life. But having a little bit of extra resiliency built into your day and your daily life is going to make a big difference. Should there be a disruptive incident that everyone should stay calm and listen to the authorities about.
Matt Hayden, former Assistant Secretary of Cyber Policy at the Department of Homeland Security. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.